Welcome back to the Michigan Business Beat, brought to you on the Michigan Business Network. Chris Holman here in our studios in downtown Lansing. We're spending a little time right now. We're going kind of, I guess you'd say, trans-state, so to speak. We're up in Marquette, Michigan. Christopher Germain is the CEO of the Lake Superior Community Partnership. And Christopher, welcome to the show. It's good to talk to you. Might be good to start off with probably a reiteration of what that Lake Superior Community Partnership is.
Sure. So Lake Superior, Superior, Community Partnership. It's a mouthful to say. LSCP for short, to save us some time here today, is an economic development organization that provides economic development services to Marquette County. We also have a number of other partnerships with Dickinson and Baraga counties, in addition to some other partners. But what makes us actually really unique compared to a lot of other economic development organizations is we also work with other nonprofits. We do community development work. We do legislative advocacy. So we kind of run the whole gambit. It's a really impressive organization.
Well, it is an impressive organization. It's done impressive things, as a matter of fact. And if anybody hasn't been up to Marquette in the last 5 years, you need to go. This has fast become one of my favorite cities. I mean, truly.
Oh, yeah.
It's best. And you are located there now, personally, right?
We are, yeah. It's yesterday, as of yesterday officially. So it's good to be back, though. I went to Northern as a student about 14 years ago, and I've been trying to get back ever since. It's kind of like it sort of hugs you, right? And even though most of us leave, a lot of us end up coming back.
No, you're absolutely right. The return to the womb, so to speak, right?
Absolutely.
But yeah, and you've got you were explaining your condo and how it overlooks the Lake Superior, and you get the sunrise. And I'm just envious. That's the only reason I'm pounding it.
I appreciate that. We really lucked out. So,
well, we're introducing you as the new director. Not quite so new now, but still in our minds, pretty new. Tell us a little bit about your career and what you've been doing and what got you here.
Sure, absolutely. So I've been in a job about a month, but it has been a really interesting start. I've spent half my time up here in a hotel and half my time back downstate in Grand Rapids, packing up our apartment down there. So I'm a born and raised Michigander, kind of ended up going to Northern by mistake back in 2006 to 2008. And I always tell folks it broke my arm and my feet while I was up here, and yet I still love the time up here. So that kind of gives you an idea of how much the UP is awesome, and people just appreciate it up here. But I graduated in the 2008 recession. So it wasn't a whole lot for me here. It wasn't a whole lot for anyone here, right? So I ended up down actually in Washington, D.C. for a short stint, and then in Ohio working political campaigns. So I worked at the State House and ran finance and communications for a campaign, and then ultimately campaign management the following cycle. And then I ended up at Ohio State, of all places, which is typically not something I admit when I'm back in Michigan, but I think it's pretty important. Up here, people don't care as much as they do down there. So it's a little nicer up here. But I got my master's in city and regional planning when I discovered that SimCity is like a thing you can do in real life. And so did that, ended up at the EPA actually for about 5 years, but I got homesick. So started looking back in Michigan. And the Michigan Economic Development Corporation was hiring community planners for the Redevelopment Ready Communities program. So I ended up coming back home and living in Lansing, which is not somewhere I ever saw myself living. But I had a great 5.5-year run at MEDC. I loved my team there. But when Amy Clickner retired from up here, about a year and a half ago or so, and Sarah Lucas came in for the position, and then obviously she had an incredible opportunity earlier this year as the director of the Rural Development Department up there in MDARD. And so when this opportunity arose to come up here, I jumped at it. So
awesome. MEDC is quite an organization. I suspect Jeff was probably your CEO at the time.
So I had a few.
Yeah, that's true.
I started with Arwood, actually, Steve Arwood. He was there for a little while, and then there was Jeff. Yep. And then we had Mark, and now we have Quentin. So it's I've seen a lot of different leadership styles, but under all four of them, MEDC has continued to grow and prosper. And quite frankly, I really miss my team. There's just something about working there, but there's also nothing that can compete with working here.
Well, so you will still work with them in the future because they
absolutely. They stole my cell phone number, as much to my chagrin.
So, but it's kind of interesting. You have the advocacy piece down then, because you've been in a couple of venues, and if people can survive in Washington, D.C., they can survive anywhere.
Absolutely. Though I would say Ohio was rougher than DC, to be honest with you.
Oh,
So
no kidding.
it
Wow.
was we when I was at the state house there, we spent 2 years in control, like of the caucus, and then they lost it again the following cycle. And so that was a very tumultuous 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Christopher, very quickly, what are some of your goals? What is it you're going to be working on here?
So first and foremost, our goal really is to keep the ship running here. You know, the work that Amy and Sarah did, like we talked about earlier, was incredible, right? So I'm not coming in here guns blazing with plans to make a ton of change, but LSCP has shifted into supporting our communities and working with them. We're going to continue to do that and continue to do that shift. We have an incredible business retention and expansion protocol already in place, right? And our staff here are so well respected in the community. And then the biggest thing that we're really focusing on is we've settled into our new offices here at the Collaborative Economic Development Center in downtown Marquette. So we're down the street from Invest UP and Northern Initiatives and Smart Zone. So we're figuring out how all that works together. And so trying to figure all that out right now, and then we'll see about whether there's bigger changes on the horizon or not.
Well, they always say when you come in, take 6 months to a year to observe. Don't upset the apple cart till you know where the bad parts are.
Absolutely. I like that theory.
All right, buddy. Christopher Germain, CEO of the Lake Superior Community Partnership in Marquette, Michigan. Thanks for joining us today, and keep up the good work, my friend. Let us know how we can help.
I appreciate it, Chris. Thank you.
All right, you're watching the Michigan Business Beat on the Michigan Business Network. I'm Chris Holman. We'll be right back.